What's going on, everybody? We're back again with another edition of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast here on YouTube. It is Wednesday, March 1st. How is it the third month of 2023 already? I don't know, but I'm here with two of our favorites from Take It to the Table, both Soul and Chaos. How are you two doing today, my friends?
I'm all I'm all healed up a bit, but I'm good to be
Yeah.
back. Been off for a wee bit with the sickness, but the MVP of the Republic has returned. Good to be back, boys.
Soul's been playing under the weather, right? Lately, this is kind of like the Jordan flu game. If I was,
Yeah,
if we're, going to quantify it, this is a little bit like the Jordan flu game here. He's playing hurt, to say the least, or at least under the weather. Chaos, how are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm on the show, but I'm also eating myself some jerk chicken and rice, as you know. So yeah, I'm just getting my late dinner in. But yeah, I always got to make time to come here and bless you guys with my presence here on the show. So let's get right to it.
Perfect. And we needed you with the late edition too. This was ideal, actually. We
I
needed
feel
you
like,
today.
I feel like for myself, I need that Randy Orton, update. Like I am feeling 25% of efficiency. I'm getting there soon enough.
Yeah, I'm at about 25. Yeah. So Soul's recovering from illness. I'm still recovering from Vegas, guys. It's almost the same thing. but we got a fun list of topics today. Pretty simple. We're gonna talk basically AEW Dynamite tonight. It's a big Dynamite, it's a big card. And then we're gonna get into maybe some stuff that Dax Harwood said if we have time at the end. But yeah, to get us started here, let's just go top to bottom on this list of matches that we're seeing for tonight. The FTW Championship on the line, Hook versus Matt Hardy. I didn't anticipate the FTW Championship myself being defended very often. I do feel like Hook has actually done so despite that, and I'm kind of excited for this match to see him in the ring with a veteran like Matt Hardy. I know Matt doesn't quite move as well as he did early in his career. You can see the damage he's had to his hips and stuff. He's taking the leg drop out of his arsenal and whatnot. But I am excited to see Hook with a worker of Matt's caliber in the ring, because we have seen him with a lot of young guys, ironically, for him being a young guy himself. So what are your thoughts on this match for tonight?
I'm excited for this. I feel like Hook matching up with Matt Hardy in the ring is going to be a big elevating point for him. I feel like this is also is this the biggest name he's really gone against as well? I mean, I can't really think of anyone else.
Probably say so.
Yeah, probably is the biggest name he's been against. But the FTW Championship in its whole, I feel like it's overstayed its welcome. It should have gone when Team Taz disbanded, because it was really a Taz thing. Like, I felt that's why it was there, because it's Team Taz, represent Taz. And now Team Taz is gone. It's like, why still have it? And I feel like they need to do something with it. Either Hook breaks away from his dad and is just like, I'm going to be my own man, and he, vacates the FTW title and it's gone forever. Or Hook wins some kind of title and he unifies it with the FTW Championship, and that's how it goes. Because I feel like it's not unsanctioned by AEW. It's not really doing anything. People are probably going to get confused and people are just going to complain. So to get rid of it in an honorable way is the best way to go around it. But besides the match in itself, I'm excited for it. Hook matching up with a legend of Matt Hardy's caliber. Banger. Can't wait.
No doubt. And I think you made a really good point there about what they're going to do next, right? Like they do have to do something. It's kind of a shame. I don't know that Taz could actually wrestle, but it'd be kind of cool to see Taz win it off Hook somehow and retire it. But and elevate Hook in a way, in the sense, like maybe then work with him as a mouthpiece. That might be interesting. You never know. I'm just spitballing there. Probably out of the question though, given Taz's age and history with suplexes and all that. Chaos, what are your thoughts on the match tonight?
Yeah, it should be interesting. I do agree that the FTW title should be taken off Hook at some point, or just retire it. Even though I understand you say that he should break away from Taz, but there hasn't really been that many interactions, well, to my knowledge, between them two. And sometimes when it comes to the commentating, when Taz is talking about Hook, it's almost like he's not actually he's not talking about him like he's his son. He's just like, he just knows that this guy is obviously, he's unstoppable. He knows what he's capable of. He's good with suplexes. So it's a bit on and off. It's a bit of a weird dynamic that they have with him. But regarding this match, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to move around with Matt Hardy, because I feel like Matt Hardy is very limited in what he can do. Obviously due to, like you said, to his hips and everything else. But yeah, it should be fine. It should be fine. I must say it's going to be very interesting to see how the community is going to react to him, because as to Hook, I mean, because there's a lot of people saying that somehow Dominic Mysterio is a bit more better, or like it more harder than Hook. I think that's a bit far fetched, but yeah, either way, I think this should be a fun match. Obviously Hook for the win, and yeah, just don't cause any concussions or any injuries to Matt, please. Treat with care.
Yeah, let's keep Matt out of concussion protocol. I definitely agree with that, but I thought he's made some other great points. You know, there's been a lot of discussion about the Dominic and Hook dynamic. I think to your point, yes, Dominic's been elevated by his current storyline because of the comedy of it, and the association with Ripley and a few other things. But realistically, my mind hasn't changed on which one has more potential down the line. Hook's got the look. And while he may be slightly smaller, his moveset is much more vicious in a way I could see him being pushed higher on the card. Dominic 100%. Mysterio can only play Eddie Guerrero light for so long.
Yeah.
That the time's going to run out on that. It just that isn't sustainable, because it is such a light version of Eddie Guerrero. Chavo, I think, suffered from being Eddie's nephew. At times, Chavo was underrated and incredibly talented. We see what he does now with the work on heels as the wrestling coordinator and all of that. He could never escape that. I thought from the beginning with Dominic. I like the parallels. I understand that his introduction to us historically was the rivalry, the custody battle between Ray and But at the end of the day, that now you're putting the double pressure on a guy who already has to live up to his father's legacy. Now he's got to live up to Eddie's legacy too. It's too much. It's too fast, and it's not sustainable because he hasn't shown anything charisma-wise that tells me he can carry a storyline.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been brought to this level by other stuff. Go right ahead, Soul.
What I'll say is, I think is Dominic elevating himself, or is the people around him elevating Dominic? I mean, I feel like it's the reason why Dominic is so in the spotlight of people now is because he's associated with Rhea Ripley and being a wee simp for her, the wee prick. I mean, never go full simp. Never go full simp. I mean, that's because everyone's looking at it now and it's like Dominic and Rhea. No one's going like just Dominic. Is anyone really tuning in for just Dominic? Like, don't get me wrong, the boy's done well for himself. He's trying to break away from his father, but he's still got Dominic Mysterio. Honestly, I know we shit on WWE all the time for like the getting rid of names things, but I feel like he would be someone who probably would try and benefit from just having Dominic or just Dom. Maybe he could be like Vin Diesel, come out in a Charger and just shout family all the time. But I mean, like I'll say this, like if you look at Hook and Dominic side by side, who can you see being a potential world champion off their work ethic?
Yeah. Well,
look at Hook.
You're 100% right. Hook. Look at the viciousness of Hook by comparison to Dominic. He's just more threatening. He may be smaller in stature. He's also younger.
Like if I put the two of them in the ring, and what I can see happening with where we are now, Hook's just gonna bulk. Dominic's gonna scream, run out the ring, and hide behind Rhea Ripley. That's what I see going on here. And then it's just gonna be Rhea Ripley versus Hook. I'll take that. That'll be entertaining. But Dominic, he needs more time to cook. I have to say on the internet, let him cook.
No question. No question. Chaos, unless you have something to add, we should keep moving down the card because we got a lot of matches to cover.
Go ahead.
But I agree. I think we're on the same page on the Hook thing, and I'm glad we got into the Hook Dominic dynamic for a bit. Next match on the card, AEW original Riho, who one of the initial, if not the initial women's champion, was she? Yes, she was the first women's champion, taking on Toni Storm. This is a cool match, right? At one point, Toni Storm was high on the card in NXT, and Riho was carrying the AEW women's title. And that wasn't very long ago. Not as long as it sounds, right? Not as long as it sounds. And on paper, this match doesn't look like much now. It might have 18 months ago. If it's a Forbidden Door type match, it's not now, but it's still something that is commendable. And it is a step in the right direction on this Originals versus Invaders type of storyline that they're kind of working towards. And I really just hope that they do, number one, put on a good match, because I think Rio Bell to Bell is really good. I think Toni Storm's underrated Bell to Bell. And this is a match that could, if given the time, be really outstanding and advance the storyline at the same time. And that's really what I'm hoping for. Chaos, we'll start with you because we ended with Soul last time, and then we'll go to you. So who do you have winning this match, and what are your thoughts?
I think, just to keep the quote unquote momentum with Saraya and Toni Storm. I think I got Toni Storm for the win on this one. Rio, as good as she is, as good as she is, she's not really in anything substantial right now. Besides, I don't know, I thought there was going to be something involving her and Hikaru Shida. But this is obviously like a throwaway match just to hype up obviously what's going on with Hayter, Saraya, and Saraya and Britt Baker. No, Ruby Soho. So apologies, yes. Revolution. So it should be all right. I don't want it to drag too long. I think most of it is going to probably happen during the commercial, because that's how they kind of treat women's matches lately,
especially non-title.
And it's sorry.
I said especially non-title.
Especially non-title, yeah, exactly, yeah. So, it should be all right. It's nothing special. Toni Storm's run in AEW hasn't been the barn burner as I thought it would be. But yeah, it is. It's just to forward the tag team of Saraya and Toni Storm. Really, that's what I see as.
Definitely, I'm with you on that. And to your point about Rio, it's kind of a shame, because I think a pairing with Shida would be cool and the way to go, especially because she's slightly limited in her promo ability, and that makes things tough. But bell to bell wise, she's as good as anybody. So what are your thoughts on this match?
I think this is going to be very hard hitting. That's kind of Stardom Joshi kind of style, which I always think, the way I look at it now is like the way AEW works, the men's side is like the acrobatic flippy stuff, and the women's is kind of like hard hitting powerhouse brawl kind of stuff, which is weird to think, but I think that's the way it works, because with the way the women's division is, they're kind of working and leaning towards the Joshi style with, hard hitting. And it goes back to AEW's roots, because, they had to hire all the Japanese female talent because WWE had snatched all the women in America up. But I think that's a good contrast. I mean, like, look at Jade, hard hitting, Toni, hard hitting, even Riho and Yuya Sakazaki, hard hitting. So I feel like that's something that's going to benefit. I think this is going to be a really good, hard-hitting Joshi-style match that people are going to love. And I feel like Tony's going to win this to help build for Evolution as well.
I really like the Joshi reference, too. I think that's a good point. And we really haven't seen Toni fully wrestle that style, I don't think, since she's been in AEW. But I think of all of the candidates maybe on hand here, she's as capable as anyone of wrestling a real like a match like that. Also, we just had a comment. My buddy Andrew Havorka, a wise man, once told me you can't outwork a worker, and that's a great call. We had a blast in Vegas, Hovey. I love you, buddy. That was a late night quote in Vegas, in case you guys are wondering. It was a good one too.
I think it's a reference to my lungs. They're trying.
But yeah, exactly. But let's move it along to the next one, which is, this is interesting here. We got Jericho versus Peter Avalon. Peter Avalon.
Come on,
I can't remember the last time I saw Peter Avalon on something that wasn't entertaining on BTE. I can't remember the last time I saw him in a match that I cared about. And shout out Peter Avalon. Sorry, man. I just can't, right? He's good. He's entertaining. There's something there. He's valuable. Him and Chris Jericho. Come on, man. Come on, man. In the words of Keyshawn Johnson on ESPN. Come on, man. This is just, I don't get it. Why are we doing the match? Why aren't we doing the match? I'm not sure. Soul, do you have thoughts on this one? We'll go with you first.
I mean, there's a story behind it. Peter Avalon was going to accept Ricky Stark's open challenge for Evolution, and Jericho Judas defected with the spiky
Dirty move, by the way.
Yeah, on the face. So there's kind of a story behind it. You want storylines, you got one.
There's a story. Excellent point.
I feel like an interesting way to have this end, which would be one, hilarious, is Ricky interferes and costs Jericho the match and Avalon pins him. Because that would be bloody hilarious. Please give me that. Because what else can happen is just Chris Juice affects him in one hit, calls Ricky out. Ricky calls out, we get a brawl. Give me an Action Andretti situation. Let's let Jericho lose to the pretty Peter Avalon, the workhorse of the wingman. Come on now. Make it happen, Tony. Make it happen.
I love that idea. If he like cons Jericho somehow and screws him, that'd be out. You know what would be funny is if he somehow got Jericho DQ'd. Even. Like just had him, force him to almost use the bat. Like there's a ref bump, he interferes, forces him to use the bat, but then sets it up almost like a reverse Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh.
Right? Where Jericho gets caught red-handed with the bat. Ricky flips him the bat, and then the referee's waking up and sees it, and Jericho's about to swing, or he hits him.
Oof, God,
that wouldn't be bad. Chaos, you got thoughts? Finish that bite. I'm kidding. You ready to go, Chaos?
I'm just looking at myself on the camera, and it looks like I'm like Rene Dupree in that interview. If you know, you know. So that's why I'm laughing to myself. Like, you see me,
don't make me laugh, please. My lungs can't take it.
You can't just do that on air.
I'm sorry. I'm just like
that is too funny.
I saw Cocaine Bear in the movie and I got inspired. But yeah, basically.
Please, I want to make it to Dynamite tonight, for God's sake.
Sorry. It was just hilarious that you just see me have my head down.
Oh, my lungs.
Get back on track. So yeah, this is obviously a throwaway match. I can easily see this. It's either going to be a 3-second thing or somehow. I don't think Avalon's going to schoolboy pin Jericho. I don't think he's going to do that. He already did the upset win with Action Andretti. I don't think he's going to do that so soon again. It probably will be like maybe a count out at the very least. Avalon somehow gets the count out win. That's gonna obviously irritate Jericho and probably just beat the crap out of him. But yeah, like you said, like Soul said, there is a storyline behind this. Obviously, Avalon wants to get his revenge because he didn't get the chance to accept the open challenge. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be a throwaway. And yeah, it's obviously Ignacio's first favorite part of the show. More Jericho on Impact. On Dynamite. So yeah, there you go. Jericho for the Avalon for the win.
I hope Jericho kidnaps his cat.
I like the call. That would be hysterical too. Takes the cat would be outstanding. No cat violence, but just takes it.
Nah.
Actually, it'd be the promo with Jericho holding Peter Avalon's cat next week. As like, I've got your cat. Would be funny as could be. Don't get me wrong.
So weird.
But let's move on to the next one. Face of the Revolution ladder match. This is obviously important. There's a big pay-per-view this weekend. I don't know if you guys heard about it. AEW Revolution. It's $49.99.
Never heard of it.
Out here in the States on Bleacher Report or the BR streaming app. And it's on Sunday night. Everybody tune in. I think it's on Fight TV internationally or, wherever your AEW pay-per-views are sold.
And other websites.
Yeah, check them on. Don't pirate it as best you can. We didn't advise that.
Of course,
we didn't advise that. Definitely do not pirate it whenever you do.
There's alternatives. There's alternative websites, legal websites that actually do it.
There's alternative legal websites that offer it. That's a good call. But anyway, on Face of the Revolution ladder match is obviously going to be relevant considering Revolution's on Sunday. We've got a stacked little ladder match here, boys. This is a good one. And
the hemorrhoid ring. Sorry.
Hang on. Chaos.
Sorry.
Make sure I get this right. No. Make sure I get this right. You helped me out the first time. It's Konosuke Takeshita.
Hey.
Nailed it.
There we go.
Konosuke Takeshita in the match.
10 points.
Proven to be really, really, really good bell to bell. And maybe a candidate to win it. Next up, we've got formerly of Proud and Powerful, Santana.
It's Ortiz. It's not Santana.
It's Ortiz. On our list, it's wrong. Santana, get back soon, please. Maybe Santana interferes in this one. Maybe not. I don't know. That'd be cool. I want Santana back as much as anything. And I want that tag team back. They're my favorite. But anyway, not the point. So it's Ortiz. Great list that I put in the old notes here. Anyway, it is Ortiz, not Santana. And then Commander.
Who the fuck is Commander? Sorry, my language.
Apology accepted, because I was about to ask you the same question.
So Commander is a luchador who's done a lot of stuff for, I think AAA or AM. Is it AML or MCL or
Triple I?
CMLL.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
CMLL.
So he's the best way to describe him. He's kind of like, imagine Nick Wayne but a bit older and in a wrestling mask.
Oh boy, this
nice.
is terrible. All right, cool, fair enough.
Monster shout out Commander. And then next up we've got newest sensation, Action Andretti.
Yep,
that'll work.
I'm up for that.
Yeah,
he's good. Ladder match wise, I'm not usually that excited to see Sammy Guevara. Not that I'm anti-Sammy, but he gets under everyone's skin. But in a ladder match, I don't really have an issue seeing Sammy Guevara. He can do anything.
I mean, aerially, go back to his ladder match with Cody.
Yeah, it's a guy. Yeah, it's a guy you want in a ladder match. It's say what you will about him, but that's a great addition to this match. Hobbs in this match, I think, will steal the show. That's who's up next. Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm calling that because you know why? I think he's a good enough athlete to pull off a ladder spot we don't expect. And being the power guy in a ladder match, he's going to dominate early. We're going to see some spine busters. We're going to see some serious hard-hitting action out of him. He also might be my early pick to win. Haven't done it quite yet. So I'm not gonna pick yet. But I just am saying he stuck out to me of all people. We'll get through the list. We'll all do our pick. Right? But he's not my official pick, but my unofficially, I do really actually like Hobbs' chances tonight. That'd be interesting. Eddie Kingston up next. Gosh, I love Eddie Kingston. What does he look like in a ladder match? Could you book a match less fit for a wrestler style than Eddie Kingston?
It's funny with Eddie because I watched the Control Center on AEW's YouTube channel, and Eddie's just sitting there on the step like, why am I in this? I don't like ladders. Why am I in this? I don't want to be in this. Take me out of this.
Like, Eddie seems like one of those guys that's afraid of nothing but heights. That's his one thing. He's like, yeah, just don't take me on a freaking roller coaster. Other than that, fearless. Completely, right? Yeah. And then we do have one more in the match, and I think he deserves it. And the last time the three of us were on together, we talked about him because he was in that trios match with Top Flight and the Elite. AR Fox, he's just stuck out week in and week out. It's almost like Chad Gable on Raw. You give him 5 minutes, he'll stand out. Doesn't really matter what it is, but he'll show you that he's more talented than you realize, and he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. I don't know that he wins this match. I don't know that he's ready to do that just yet, but boy, do I think he has a chance to steal the show in this one.
What's interesting?
Absolutely.
What's interesting is AR Fox has faced Joe before. I think that was the match he got signed afterwards, but like there was the iconic him flipping over the ropes. Joe 100%. Did the thing, but he landed on his feet. I mean. Hell of a guy, honestly. Like, I'm all for AR Fox to get a good push and do some more stuff.
So then last but not least, before we get into our picks on this one, Samoa Joe will be on commentary.
This is so random.
Which is random. I'm going to let Chaos go first on this one. Let's get your pick, your thoughts on the field. Soul, you'll finish this out. How are you feeling about this one?
I mean, it's great. It's action packed. What my argument is, why was this not promoted a bit better? I didn't know this was even happening until I just saw the card. I thought this, because they have put this ladder match on pay-per-view before, and now right now it just feels like, you remember when Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was on WrestleMania, and now it's on a random episode of SmackDown. This is what it feels like. It's almost like a downgrade. It's, not to say that, it's I don't know. It's just, there was just more hype behind this, and the fact they're just randomly putting this on, and on top of that, Samoa Joe, which like show you he's had some history with some of these people, is already in something in with Wardlow. Why is he involved in this? It is so random. I don't know I'm still gonna enjoy it. Hell yeah. Very interested to see how many botches this Commander guy is gonna do. I'm sorry. CMLL guys are just unreliable. I'm sorry. Like there's usually a whole episode dedicated to them when I'm Botchamania. But yeah, my pick on this, obviously because of the rumblings of Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita. Because if he's meant to be having a rocket strap up to him, he is my pick. If it was me personally, I would either give it to Hobbs or Fox. Kingston, I mean, that is also definitely the Kingston's the perfect guy, but you don't know. He's the perfect guy that blurs the lines. You don't know whether he's being legit or he's just playing this character. You can imagine him saying like, "Why am I in this?" But you're just wondering like, did he just go off script? Like, was he legit thinking that?
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's meant to be going the way it's meant to go, it will be Takeshita. But my actual personal pick would be either Hobbs or Fox for sure. But all in all, this whole thing's random.
I love you made a great point about the promotion. Like it's such a good match as far as the roster. Why is this not being pushed as like a huge, especially it's the logical main event in the go home show for Revolution. We should be really concerned with who wins this one. And I'm not saying we're not. Us three are. But across the board, to your point, promotionally, it's just not been built up. Like this is do or die. Whoever wins, elevating themselves, big opportunity. Doesn't feel like that. It feels like something we're going to watch is going to be an exciting ladder match, which is great too. It's going to be an exciting ladder match, no matter what, right?
Do you think it's still going to be for the Sonic ring?
I don't know. What are they putting up there? It does say Casino Battle Royal. So I think this is going to be related to Double or Nothing for some reason too. That throws me for a loop.
That's the
tag team battle royal, isn't it?
This is just
the tag team one.
So, I mean, everyone's probably wondering why is this not on Revolution? Well, we have a 1 hour Iron match, guys. You can't fit everything on the card. I know everyone's too long, but I mean, like the way I look at this, right? And who thinks win is I think who in this match can pair off on a rivalry, and then we get the winner from that. So let's look at the list, right? Eddie and Ortiz, that's something there. Eddie and Sammy, something there. Powerhouse Hobbs could easily go after someone like AR Fox or someone like that, or even Action and Dre. But you got Sammy and Action. The only ones who really stand out there that like who couldn't go with someone is Commander and Konosuke. I mean, Commander ain't gonna just come in for one match and then get a championship opportunity and then lose to go away again. So I really think Konosuke Takeshita is the person that's gonna win this. Because think about this. This person has to mix with Joe in the ring. You gotta think of that. And Konosuke versus Samoa Joe. Oh boy, I'll take that, please. Sign and deliver. But look, I think we're also going to get in this match as well. Joe's going to be on commentary, unaware. And then you're just going to hear, like, through the ring, like, oh, what the shit? And then it's just Wardlow pounding on him. Just like, yeah, I got you now. Unaware, my friend. So I feel like that's what we're going to see. Konosuke's going to win it, and Wardlow's probably going to attack Joe at the commentary desk and maybe even put it from a table for good luck.
I like that call. So who's your official pixel?
Konosuke Takeshita.
And UKS?
I'll say Takeshita officially, yeah, but personally,
we have two
Hobbs.
Takeshita picks. I like it.
Good.
I'm going to go elsewhere.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to take Hobbs, even though I want to so badly. So badly. I should be Hobbs. I think he is.
I love Hobbs.
I think the world of Powerhouse Hobbs. I thought he stood out from minute one in Team Taz. And, God bless Brian Cage. I think he's an amazing performer. I think that's part of the reason that he didn't work out in Team Taz is he was overshadowed by Hobbs. Hobbs was the bigger threat. Cage, the machine, and with the build and everything or whatever, with Hobbs standing behind him, I'm significantly would be more concerned with Hobbs because he just towered over him. He's both the strength, the explosiveness, the athleticism. It's not that Cage isn't a freak athlete as well. But standing next to each other, Hobbs stood out in a way that Cage did not. especially on the microphone.
See,
Every chance Hobbs got to speak on Dynamite as a part of Team Taz, he shined. And that's something Cage didn't do very well.
Yeah.
I personally thought Taz did a better job of speaking for Cage than Cage did himself. Hobbs outshined Taz. Taz needed to shut up every time the microphone went to Hobbs. And that's something you really can't teach. And that's total package type things. And I'm not talking Lex Luger. I mean, like 5-tool baseball player. He's got it all. Because Lex Luger clearly wasn't the total package. Hindsight's 2020, boys. But for me, I would love to pick Hobbs, but I'm going to go against what I said earlier. I'm taking Eddie to win it. Kingston, because Kingston Joe makes some sense down the road, and you set up for it later. And I'm going to pick Eddie mostly because I just didn't want all three of us to pick Takeshita because that was my pick initially. So that I kind of cheated there. I'm taking Eddie because I was going to take Takeshita, and it seems unfair if all three of us take Takeshita.
Fair enough.
So that's my pick.
What I'll say here is we're actually missing one more match. It's Orange Cassidy versus Big Bill for the All Atlantic Championship. Do we even want to go into this?
No, we'll go into that, and then also the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal.
Well, we'll just say Orange. We all think Orange Cassidy's going to win. We're not. Big Bill's not going to stand over.
Yeah, Orange is going to win.
Here's the question: is can Orange jump high enough to hit the orange punch on Big Bill?
Somehow he will. Yeah, just somehow.
And then more importantly than that, is it possible Orange could hit a beach break on a 7-foot human without breaking his neck? Nah. The chaos. No.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Not that one. If he hits a beach break, I'll be pretty fired up. That'd be kind of funny. I don't think it's possible either. But
for the Casino Tag Team, should I read out all the teams because I've actually got them listed?
Yes, that would be delightful. That's where my notes were.
We've got Blackpool Combat Club with Yuya and Claudio. We've got Top Flight, Lucha Bros, LFI with Rush and Preston Vance. We've got Aussie Open. We've got the Jericho Appreciation Society. Daddy Magic and the other guy. I forgot his name. Sorry.
It's Matt Menard and Cool Hand. No, it's Cool Hand Angelo Parker.
That's the one. We got Kingdom with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. We've got Best Friends. We've got Butcher and the Blade, and we've got Dark Order with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Now, obviously, this is a Casino Tag Team Battle Royale, and usually with the Casino thing, they have a Joker in it. I don't know if this has been advertised for this one because I'm pretty sure whenever it's a casino.
All of the casinos they had a Joker. So, like, for example, All Out this year, the Joker was MJF.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, as singles, but I don't know if they've done that during a tag team battle royale.
Well, we'll probably know when obviously the match starts and do all the suits. Like if they come out different suits and all that. But I feel like what's going to be interesting is we'll talk about the teams first, and then if there's a Joker, we'll talk who we think our Jokers could be.
I think we do the opposite. I don't know if I can keep a secret that long, Soul. So I want you to give away who we all think the Joker is, to be totally honest. Okay. Let's lead with that.
So Joker-wise, thinking tag teams in AEW, who's got history with the Acclaimed, Guns, and Jeff Jarrett and Lethal. It's got to be FTR, right? It's got to be FTR because if it's FTR, they've got history with the Acclaimed. The Guns cost them their number one contendership. The only one really don't have any relationship with is Jarrett and Lethal. So I feel like FTR could be a good choice for the Joker. Do I think it's possible? No, because I know there's been stuff with their contracts and they're wanting to take time off. If it's FTR, no complaint for me. If it's not FTR, I mean, the only other thing I can think of is an outside company Joker, like Motor City Machine Guns or something like that.
The Guns was going to be my outside Joker so thanks for undercutting my next take. I'm just totally kidding. FTR was the logical. If they're going to really surprise us, that's who it's got to be. And that's why I was like, we're not keeping this for 10 minutes and then going into FTR. Let's put it on the table. If the Joker's FTR, obviously we'll all be fired up out of our minds. Who knows? We might get into the Dax Hardwood comments if we have 5 minutes at the end here. But Chaos, do you have any other thoughts on who the Jokers might be besides FTR? Or
I mean, my other guess, if he wasn't in the match already, it will probably be the Hardys. But
You think
yeah,
Jeff's coming back?
yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's out of rehab. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I think they gave him 28 days in jail, but they gave him time served, so he is free.
Yeah, he is actually technically free. He's just for some reason don't have anything created for him. But yeah, I mean, well, obviously Matt Hardy's already in a match, so that's probably not going to happen. FTR, I don't know, just the way that they've been moving lately, I just can't imagine. It really feels like they're trying to find some ways to either get out of the of AEW, or they just literally don't care. It's really weird, the dynamic that they're going for, especially that which we'll get into, I'm sure shortly. But yeah, I honestly don't know if it's not FTR. I could, like you say, it could be someone outdoors and outside from the organization.
Be out the doors.
That too, yeah.
That counts. They'd be outside of the doors.
Yeah, just outside looking in. But yeah, it could be anybody.
Watch it be Alpha Academy. Watch it then just rock up. He's like,
just hear that. Just go.
Could you imagine the pop? By the way, though, that'd be gigantic.
People were saying, "What the?
My God.
That would be
okay.
What's happening here? The walls are closing in."
So let's leave FTR, the Motor City Machine Guns, even the Hardys, all the teams we mentioned as possibilities on the table, plus the current field. Who's going to win the match? Let's start with you, Chaos.
You want me to read out the choices again?
Take your time. Yeah, read the choices one more time.
Yeah.
All right, we have Best Friends, Dark Order, Butcher and Blade, Blackpool Combat Club, Top Flight, Lucha Bros, LFI, Aussie Open, JAS, Kingdom, and the Joker.
I mean, right now there's two heels and there's only one face team in the other match already. So, which is the Guns and Jeff Jarrett and Thingy versus the Acclaimed. There has to be another face team to really even it out. I think that's how it would actually work it, I would assume. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, who are the face teams then?
Best Friends, Dark Order,
Lucha Brothers,
Top Flight, Lucha Bros.
I would say Lucha Bros. My pick will be the Lucha Bros. That's a good dynamic. You got a high flyer, you got the grounded guys, you got the in between with the Acclaimed, and you got Jeff Jarrett and then the veterans. So yeah, I'd say to mix it up, I'd put the Lucha Bros. If it's not the Motor City Machine Guns, I'll put the Lucha Bros.
I like that. All right, so how about you? What's your pick?
I want to pick the Dark Order, but honestly, I think who can win this, and it's kind of been a part of their storyline as well in the company. I'm going with Best Friends, Trent and because they've lost pretty much every chance to get even an opportunity. So I feel like this will be it for them. Like, I don't think they're going to win at Revolution because I think taking off the Guns a bit too early is a bit of an odd choice. Mm-hmm. But
personally, I'd rather have the Best Friends than the Guns.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Best Friends for this tag team battle royale. Fair enough.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I love the Best Friends pick. Unfortunately, I'm going with the Lucha Bros too. It just seems most logical. You put them in the match, they can wrestle anybody, and to add to a hectic match like that, to have two guys like Lucha Bros who kind of know what they're doing with that many bodies in the ring just makes the most sense to me. And I think that's the pick for me, is to win this one. And I don't know that necessarily they're a threat to take the titles off the Guns at Revolution, but logically speaking, you got to put those guys in this one. I think that's the way to go. Although I really do like the rest of the field. If the Joker's FTR, that's my pick. And thankfully, that's going to be our next subject. We're going to talk Dax.
Quick question. If it is FTR, would you be fine with them taking the titles from the Guns?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I mean, only if FTR turn heel.
Let me give my why. I agree with you 100%. Soul. They need to turn heel to make it logical, but I do think that one of the biggest selling points for AEW from the beginning was tag team wrestling matters, and they put a huge emphasis on the tag team division. And if you looked at the tag team division in 2019, 2020, 2021, even leaking into, I would say, early 22. There's no doubt you go, that's the best tag division in the world. WWE's great. Love the Usos, love the New Day, love the Street Profits, right? A lot of thrown together teams, not much depth. There was depth. I mean, look at the way Private Party was pushed in 19. They've suffered. They had the Hardys at one point, Proud and Powerful, Jurassic Express, The Best Friends. I mean, the depth was unbelievable. FTR, the Young Bucks, Kenny and Hangman. Right? Like the tag division was just stacked, and it was match. Kenny and Hangman are 2 single stars, carried the belts forever, but they put on the, whatever, 6-star match, finger quotes. But it was one of the best tag matches I've ever seen. The Lucha Brothers, the cage match, the ladder matches with the Bucks in the tag division, not the trios, current stuff. And we need to get back to that. And FTR is a direct route back to that. I think quickly. AEW, but go ahead, Sol.
I just thought of another team that could be the Joker. What about Sting and Darby Allin?
Not bad. Not bad at all. A lot of strength there.
Yeah, Darby didn't do anything else. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Oh God! Imagine Sting just like, I don't know, kicking Aussie Open over the top rope.
And I think, think also, and I don't want to take up too much time here, but like I think it goes back to Swerve and Keith Lee were awesome, but were they really a team? Swerve and Their Glory was a cool name, but they, like they always came across as reluctant partners.
Yeah,
and that was a cool story. The Acclaimed, I felt like, not that they restored the titles, but that made sense. They were the most over team. They deserved the belts, all of that. The Guns winning, I'm not saying that the Guns aren't deserving, but I do feel like it just devalued the tag belts slightly. FTR could restore that. The AEW tag belts are arguably the most important tag belts in the world, and it should feel like that. Especially, but by comparison to the Usos carrying the 2 belts that they don't really defend against anybody that's a real threat, that they don't really have a legit storyline outside of the one that we've kind of been spoiled on for Mania, unfortunately, with the old friends that aren't a tag team as of now reuniting. That's always a fun story to tell, but it is nice to see some depth in the tag division. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? So you guys got any thoughts on just the tag wrestling? I think is important.
Oh yeah,
definitely it's important, and I feel like it's cared more in AEW than honestly anywhere else. Honestly.
And that's where, and no knock on the Guns, to your point though, Sol, I feel like we've kind of been held back by the Guns holding the belts. They do definitively feel like the weakest tag champs we've had since AEW has started.
Have they actually defended the belts?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's the part that is.
That's probably why. I don't know why, but I feel like that's probably
And even coming into the win, I didn't feel like they were a legitimate threat outside of Billy Gunn's association with the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
To the Acclaimed. So yes, it was a shock win, and we'll see where it goes. But I think the explanation for having a 4-way tag match as opposed to a rematch between the Acclaimed and the Guns is this is a bridge reign, and that those belts are going elsewhere, whether that's FTR or it's any of the other babyface teams we've named or even heel teams. I do think the belts will be going elsewhere, and I don't necessarily think it's the Acclaimed, even though I would like to see them
win for Jeff Jarrett, boys. Please, I want to hear my word.
Anything but that, please. Anything but that. I love you, Sol, but anything but Jarrett and Lethal as tag champs, I'll take. That would be tough for me. We got 30 seconds left. We're up against the clock here, guys. So it's been a fun show today. We'll get into Dax next time. Chaos, thanks for joining late too, by the way, man. We needed
no worries.
We needed you with both of us with the bad voices and everything. So freaking trooper coming off the sickness.
Yes.
Blast today. You need a Soul Sessions plug real quick?
I will say there's one already recorded. I have 2 further episodes hopefully planned to be recorded. Both of them are Scottish based for the next 2, so they're going to be interesting. One of them recently crowned women's champion for one of the big companies here in Scotland. So hopefully all this turns out and I'm not just said some fake news and I get cancelled like EA. Just promising false.
And Chaos, take it to the table plug real quick.
Yeah, take it to the table. We just actually filmed in the last the latest episode. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania regarding Cody Rhodes, as well as our Soul's rebuttal regarding when we spoke about has AEW has his popularity peaked and is it the downfall and everything. So he obviously shoots and gives his thoughts on that. So yeah, be sure to check that out. That'll be out tomorrow evening. So be sure to check that out.
Perfect. Absolutely. And then hit us with the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. It really helps us out. And last but certainly not least, if you want to check out all of those things that we just mentioned, just check out the Wrestling Republic YouTube channel. Not super hard to find. And we're all there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow in the afternoon, a little later time. But either way, thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.